So joining me today is a true veteran of the exterior cleaning industry, Mark Toovey, the owner and founder of Alfresco Exterior Cleaning. Mark's got over 27 years experience and established Alfresco back in March 96, something like that. And it's since become Oxfordshire's most rated exterior cleaning company. Mark, welcome to the show. It's fantastic to have you here. And thank you for sparing the time to share your journey and some of the secrets behind your long-standing success in the industry. How are you today?
Morning, David. Thanks for having us on today. Yeah, I'm great. Just pick you up. It's actually 28 years, not 27. You can tell by the white of my beard that it's been a number of years.
Well, credit where credit's due, 28 years, 27 years, it's a fantastic achievement. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to hear a little bit more about it. To kick us off, why don't you just give us a bit of a rundown in terms of what you guys do at Alfresco and what sort of services you offer?
So I think the easiest way to describe Alfresco is we're a whole of market exterior cleaning company. So we can cover anything from commercial, residential, commercial, industrial properties throughout the whole of Oxfordshire. We do go a little bit further beyond into other neighbouring shires, but essentially we are Oxfordshire based. Our most popular service is roof cleaning. So we find that people come to us through the requirement for clogged gutters, which in turn out to actually be moss growing on the roof.
Okay. It's an interesting one with the gutters. I mean, I remember back in the commercial days, you used to do the gutter cleans and stuff for some of the commercial buildings I worked in, but it's kind of one of those forgotten things, isn't it? It sits at the top of your house or the building.
Yeah.
Stuff builds up in there, and if you don't address it, it can cause problems later on.
I think what a lot of people forget is that in their insurance details, it says that you as a homeowner or as a business owner need to maintain the property to an adequate standard.
Okay.
If you don't, and you have water ingress into your property through the gutters being full, then the insurance company will actually not pay out for that claim.
Okay.
So we used to work quite closely with a loss assessor, and the amount of claims that they used to come through that was for water ingress through block gutters was quite high.
Right.
And insurance companies used to not pay out because it was classed as a ongoing maintenance
Yeah.
part of the building. So yeah, it's very sort of interesting when you say gutter cleaning, but then you look the reasons behind it why it should be done. It makes a lot more sense because at least then if you do have a water leak, and then you've got an invoice from us saying that they were cleaned 3 months ago, and then the footage that we normally do, certainly for commercial buildings, we
Yeah.
actually do a PDF report at the end with sort of before and after images. So at least then that can go on file. So if there is any sort of further issues, then they can refer back to that report.
There you go. It's a good point. I've never thought about the insurance companies before. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, 27 years in the alfresco business. What were you doing before? What brought you into this world of cleaning and stuff?
Okay, so my job before Alfresco was a company called Reed Shilling, and I used to sell incontinent wear, David,
Okay.
which when you're 24, 25 is quite a good talking point when people say to you, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, I work in telesales." "Okay, what do you sell?" "I sell incontinent wear." And it would be a proper conversation sort of end. So yeah, that's how I started, was literally selling telesales, selling incontinent pads, wet wipes, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'd already worked previously in retail, so I was used to having to work 6 days a week. So when it comes to weekends, I found it really strange that I was at home on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I looked for a part-time job.
Okay.
Couldn't get one.
Right.
So I thought, "Oh, do you know what? Let's try window cleaning." A friend of the family
Right.
used to clean windows. But this is back in the day when it used to be proper chamois and scrim type
Yeah.
window cleaning. because obviously we've been around that long. So I just started on a Saturday morning at my parents' house with a bucket, ladder, squeegee, and as they say, the rest is history.
So definitely signs of entrepreneurism back then starting to do something at the weekends and growing it to be the company that it is today.
Yeah, I think one of the things for me that I remember was picking a book up and it said the Entrepreneur's Guide for the under 25s.
Okay.
And I was 24 at the time. And I thought, right, if I don't read
Got a
this,
little window of opportunity
yeah,
there.
exactly, yeah. You know, pardon the pun, the window of opportunity, um, which we clearly cleaned and have cleaned many thousands and probably millions of pieces of glass since.
So over the last 27 years, then, what would you say, as a business owner in particular, what would you say your biggest challenges have been, and how have you overcome them over the years?
Biggest challenge, staff and customers.
Okay.
I think that any young business when they take on an employee, there'll always be when is the best time to take on an employee,
Yeah.
you know, and I've been asked recently, you know, when is the best time? And I think that as soon as you think that it's ready, you know, often people would say that I need office staff. When do I need office staff? Well, as soon as you think that you need office staff and hire the first person, because the chances are that first hire will all be a friend, family member, or some associate. And 9 times out of 10, David, it never works, but you
Yeah.
learn from it. So I think that, you know, staff is always an issue because they see you on like this business owner. So, you know, you're absolutely minted, you're earning money hand over fist, which isn't the case. And often, you know, you pay your staff before
Yeah.
yourself, you know, and they don't see everything else that sort of goes on the iceberg, really. They see just the tip, not go what goes on underneath. Um, Customers, you know, I think with any business, you're always going to have, you know, some customers that take a lot of your time up. And I think it's about sort of managing those expectations with customers. Um, but then attracting the right customers, I think, has taken us quite a number of years to perfect that. So, you know, you're always going through that cycle in early days of a customer will do no matter what, where actually now we're a little bit more selective on our customers.
Yeah, it's a real challenge, isn't it, when you're starting up? You know, the temptation is to take on any customer because it's cash flow, it's income to the business, and rightly so. You know, at that early stage, you're trying to grow the business, but as you develop,
Yeah.
having that sort of more clear definition around what your target market is and where you sit within the marketplace just helps you build that sort of better customer base that you can grow with.
And I think you're right. It's for us, you know, we through our experience, you know, we've worked out what our ideal customer avatar from a commercial point of view looks like, and also a residential customer looks like. So I think, you know, you go through those cycles of like who is the best customer for us.
Yeah.
So we now know, you know, what our ideal customer looks like. So, you know, we can go where they hang out. We can advertise where they are, you know, not just do the scattergun approach of like advertising everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it helps you cut through the noise as well, doesn't it? You know, we live in a very data driven world today with lots of marketing messages going on, but getting clarity around what your offering is, what your core products and services are, and what the target market is helps you get that marketing message through the noise to resonate with the people that you want to attract.
Yeah, what we've had quite a few comments when we go out to see people, and they always think that we're a franchise.
Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because again we've honed that sort of like customer sort of journey, and with
But
our
well branded as well. You've got that sort of
yeah
personal branding. Yeah,
yeah I think you know with you know everything that we do, we always sort of bring it back to is it clear on brand.
yeah,
um and for us, you know, it's clearly work because, you know, as much as we're not a small company, but they obviously think that we're part of a nationwide
yeah.
franchise with the branding that we have.
Yeah, it's really cool. So if you had the opportunity to wind back the clock and go back to 96 or around that time, and start all again, is there anything you do differently? And if there is, what sort of
Uh,
things would you do differently?
what would I do differently? When you come back to staff and customers, I've often sort of thought, well, if I'd done this again, would I be better off just staying as a one-man band?
Okay.
You know, and essentially you get a job, you do a job, you get paid. So essentially it's almost like having a job.
Yeah.
So part of me sort of thinks, well, should I have just stayed as a one-man band? Um, but I think that would be the wrong thing to advise somebody. I think if you want to be a one-man band, that is absolutely fine. But I think if you want to grow and become a business owner, I think that you do need to have those steps of like, well, for me personally, I would say that I've probably got a 7-year-old business. Okay. Because those first 20 years, I'd done the same thing year after year after year after year. So in theory, I've got a 7-year-old business. So if I go back 7 years, what would I do differently?
Yeah.
Employ better than me for a start off, um, and be part of a community that can help and support. Because I think that was the biggest catalyst for me was to become part of a support network to help me probably personally and actually into business as well, rather than just being a business owner, because that can actually be quite a lonely place
Yeah.
because you everything comes back to you. But then it's about making sure, am I making the right decision? My parents were employees, so they never knew what it was like to be a boss, and a business owner. So for me, it was a guy, well, who can I talk to?
Yeah.
Where I think that it's there's more people out there now that you can get help and advice from.
Yeah, and my experience in the sort of small business enterprise community is actually business owners are willing to share and talk and things like that. It's my background is corporate, as you know, and it tends to be a little bit handoffish. It's kind of let's keep the secrets to ourselves
Yeah,
because it's how you rise the corporate ladder. Whereas in the business community, certainly my experience, people are willing to share, people are willing to talk, and like you are today, share your story, share your journey
yeah,
and things like that. It's an interesting new point that I just want to pick up on in terms of that decision around staying as a small business or growing. And I think you've hit a pertinent point there. Actually, it is a decision. Being a business owner that owns a business where you're a one-man band is great for a lot of people, and it's fantastic. And you have the freedom to do what you want to do and all that sort of stuff. But if you want to grow, it's kind of that's the decision you need to make. You kind of almost can't grow half-heartedly. You can't half do
yeah.
it. It's taking that conscious decision to, right, I'm now becoming a business owner. I need to be a business owner and grow in a business owner way.
And I think the important thing there is to know what a business owner should look like,
Yeah.
because it's easy, and I'm probably guilty of it in my earlier years, was not being a business owner, just being the person that owns the company
Yeah.
rather than being a business owner, and now focusing on the sales, the marketing, the production, and all of those other things, rather than just thinking, right, okay, this today or this week we've got this bathroom install to do, or if it might be a roof clean for a big property that we're there for 3 or 4 days and you're on the tools that time, so you don't have time to think about the sales and marketing. And I think that a lot of small business owners, you get almost trapped, and I think it's really important to have thinking time.
Yeah.
For me, I have 90 minutes in my diary each morning, which I have no appointments, no time constraints on, but like, well, I've got to do this and this. It's a time for me to think, right, okay, are we on plan? What tweaks do I need to do within the business to make sure that we're going on our longer term plan?
So really, really good point, actually building space into your diary, into your day, into your week, because that's where the reflection time, that's where you're really sort of learning and growing and things like that. It's like going to the gym, isn't it? It's not actually lifting the weights that's growing, it's the repair and recovery afterwards that helps
Exactly.
you get
Yeah.
stronger and fitter.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
so many people just don't do that. They're just busy all the time because there's so much to do all the time.
I think it's all about taking the time to block that time out in the
Yeah,
first
it's
place.
important, and having a priority that it's important.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you had a customer, a client, you block that time out for the client, wouldn't you? So that time for yourself is just as important, if not more important, than your
exactly.
potential clients are. Really good share that. We've talked about team a little bit, and you sort of alluded to if you want to grow, the team's crucial to help you grow because clearly, the team will be able to take the business further than you could ever go on your own.
Yeah.
What sort of things do you do to get the right people around you, and how do you, kind of get the right people and get the right culture and keep that high performance culture going in the organization?
So we spent a lot of time and a lot of money probably 4 years ago doing our mission, vision, and purpose statement.
Okay.
So, and we've got that around the building in various different places, just as a reminder to the team about about that cultural element. But I have to say, David, that is an absolute crock. Okay, we have a banner in the warehouse with three elements to it: turn up and do great work, give a monkeys, okay,
Yeah.
but don't be stupid.
Yeah.
So everything that we do, we sort of go back to those three elements. Have we done great work this week? Now, as a business, what we do is every Friday, because I'm really clear about our branding, we have Van Wash Friday. So on a Friday, again, blocking time out in the guys' schedule, they have a time allowance at the end of the day on a Friday to wash their vans and make sure they're then restocked, ready for the following week. But then we have like a download period as well. So we all come together into the main office. We might break out the biscuits. We might break out some drinks. And we just sit down and we just go over like how's the week been for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that way it nips any bad feeling or any questions that we do it weekly. So if somebody's got an issue or a job hasn't gone particularly very well, or on our residential window cleaning side, we've got like 4,500 customers. Now, if somebody lives in the middle of nowhere, we've the sat nav doesn't take you directly to their address. We just what 3 words it. So again, it's that culture of like, well, if it's taking time for you to find the property, if you don't go there next time somebody else does, then put a what 3 words on there. So just to make sure that we're all being responsible. I think the biggest thing for us was that we do regular one-to-ones with the team to make sure that they feel part of the team.
Yeah.
This is being recorded today on a Thursday, and tomorrow we've actually got our like annual team meeting
Okay.
to go over where our plan has been for the year and how close to that have we got. Or how far away from it have we got, and then what's the vision for next year. So I think it's about employing people with the right mindset
Yeah.
and that feel part of a family business. And I think that's, again, in recent years, I don't talk about me as the business owner. I talk about us as the business because they've got a vested interest in the success of the business as well. It's because
Yeah.
this business is more than just one man.
Yeah, I think that's I've picked up a few things from what you said there in terms of, having that clarity around your vision, mission, and things like that. But they're not just words. They're not just a sort of corporate statement put up on the wall, by the chief exec and like,
Yeah,
there you go, that's what we're doing. You're living and breathing it by having that culture around a safe environment on a Friday for people to feel comfortable to share,
yeah,
how their week's gone, that sort of stuff. The one-to-one reviews, an opportunity to sort of discuss what's working, what's not working, and things like that. And I think from a team perspective, people want a sense of belonging. It's back
yeah,
to Maslow's hierarchy of
yeah,
needs,
yeah,
sense of
exactly.
purpose,
Yeah,
sense of it's a
yeah,
human. But need and want, and you're creating an environment where you've got, a safe environment, but being heard and being part of it. It's really good. It's often overlooked. It's often overlooked. Certainly that vision mission bit is often overlooked in small businesses as something we don't need because we're not a big corporation.
Yeah. But literally, if anybody wants to come and actually have a look at what it says on the wall, they're more than happy to drop by and I'll show it to
Yeah.
them.
But it
Obviously,
doesn't
there
have to
are
be
a few.
overcomplicated, does it?
Oh no, it's literally just
Yeah.
three little sentences. There's a little bit of expletives in there, which is why I can't share it on screen with you. But essentially, it all comes back down to those three things. Have you turned up and done great work today?
Yeah.
No, because you phoned in sick, so you failed on that one, and clearly you've not given a poop because you've let everybody
Let your team
the whole
down.
team
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So it's so small but so impactful.
Impactful. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is because it's congruent with what you believe, it's congruent with everybody's, and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, we
it's
love the KISS
achievable.
approach here. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Let's take a shift to sort of what the future holds. So where do you see Alfresco going? Where do you see the future of the business, and what sort of things are you doing to move the business forward?
So 2 years ago, we actually made Sarah a long-term employee, managing director.
Yeah.
And that allows me to let Sarah do the day-to-day part of the business where I can concentrate on the sales and marketing element. So for us, we started 16th of March 1996 as Alfresco Window Cleaning. By the end of 2026, we will return to Alfresco Window Cleaning.
Okay.
And I'm going to put my hand on my chest here and say that by that point, we will be the biggest residential window cleaning company in Oxfordshire. And I, purely from a personal point of view, that will allow me at 55 to work 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah.
That we'll have a management team in place, that will deal with the day-to-day stuff. I can come in 2 days a week, 3 days a week if necessary, and deal with like sort of more of a management process. But then I'm still young enough, fit enough that if we've got a large job on and we need an extra pair of hands window cleaning, I can still do the do,
Yeah.
and sort of fill in those gaps if need be. But if I'm take myself out of the day-to-day running, I can then slot in wherever is needed to plug a gap, whether it's for a short-term period or if we've got staff off sick. I then become that drop-in element. So yeah, so by the end of 2 years' time, I'd like to be the largest residential window cleaning company in Oxfordshire, only working part-time.
Very good. Nice ambition. Puts
Yeah.
you in control of your choices, doesn't it? It puts you in control of
Oh,
actually do
yes.
the bits that you want to do. If you want to take a bit of time out, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to keep doing the bits you enjoy, you can. So the
And,
business is
and,
working for you rather than you working for the business.
and it's quite ironic that people sort of say, well, why do you, sometimes go down and, wash the vans, Mark? Because I like washing stuff. I like
Yeah,
making stuff
enjoy
look
it.
clean because it's part of what we do.
Yeah,
So would my time be better spent, looking at a Facebook marketing strategy? Yes, of course it would. But sometimes getting your hand in that soapy water and washing those vans over, and seeing all the vans lined up, you just sort of think, we've created a great business here.
yeah. It's part of bringing that culture to life, Mark.
Yeah.
Doing as you do rather than doing as I say.
And I think that's one of my failings, that I probably used to lead probably more with a stick approach
Okay.
previously to where I am now. So I've certainly, learned by my mistakes in life. We've, going back to the employees, we've had employees that have left here, in a way that I probably wish that I hadn't. But I've also had employees which I've been grateful to close the door after.
But I suppose through that, you know, there's a growth, there's a learning, there's a
Yeah.
development of
Oh,
yourself.
absolutely.
So the business grows as you grow.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Really good stuff there. So I could talk to you for ages about the business and stuff because I know a bit about the history and things. We go back to say the old automotive days and things like
Yes.
that. But for the benefit of our listeners, where can they go to sort of find out a bit more information about Alfresco and sort of see what you guys are up to?
So the website is very informative. That's Alfresco EC. Couldn't be bothered with that whole alfresco exterior cleaning.co.uk. So
Okay.
it's alfrescoec.co.uk. Have a look at the website. What makes us very different is that somebody's here in the office between 9 and 5. So you can pick up the phone, speak to
Okay.
a real person.
A human.
You can drop a WhatsApp via the website. That will get answered within about an hour. Or you can drop us an email, good old-fashioned email at hello@alfrescoec.co.uk. Or we're based on Kingston Bagpugh's Business Park. We're more than happy to receive visitors.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend some time with us.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.